Thanks, Elvis. Hey, all. Well, it is July 2nd, 2023. Day 2 of the Battle of Gettysburg was 160 years ago today, obviously, because I'm here. It is pretty rainy and goopy outside, just like it was yesterday. We've had a storm system moving across the United States, plus a lot of haze and smoke from wildfires up in Canada coming down. Haven't got a lot of sweeping, scenic shots of the battlefield because, frankly, it's gray and kind of bleh. And in photography terms, bleh is a technical term. When I do my big travel logs in a couple weeks after I'm back in Florida, what I'm probably going to do for any sweeping landscape shots that I want to share about the story, I'll pull footage from my visit in 2021 during the 158th anniversary, because at least the sky was clear and you can see the field and all the details without haze obscuring them. If I do that, of course, I'll note it clearly on the video that you're watching footage from back then while I tell the stories, but that's in the future. It is going to be pretty rainy today, especially this afternoon, so I'm not sure how much hiking or anything I'm going to get to do, but I'm not giving up. Also, the Park Service has been doing a lot of renovations and work on the south end of the field. Devil's Den and Little Round Top might actually still be closed because there's been problems with erosion, largely caused by people walking off designated paths and just cutting, basically blazing their own trails, and that causes erosion. And also, just the facilities were built decades ago. Tourism numbers have increased, so some of the facilities are just flat out overwhelmed. Going to be interesting, but we'll see. Either way, it's still the 160th anniversary. I'm going to go get some coffee, and we're going to start this adventure. So I will see y'all when I see you. Go do some great things. Well, welcome aboard Sarah Jane, my trusty car. I'm here at Little Round Top and Devil's Den. Little Round Top is right there to my left. Devil's Den is ahead of me. It's funny, in a place like this, when you say some of the fiercest, most bloody fighting of the war and of the battle happened here, it starts to lose its meaning because this place was such a bloodbath overall. There are some accounts from soldiers and civilians just, during and after the battle that talked about places where the ground was muddy, but muddy with blood. Still, Little Round Top was made extremely famous by the 1993 movie Gettysburg for a reason. The Confederates were trying to take it, and if they had, they could have destroyed the entire Union line. Desperate battle happened here, and it came down to the wire, but the Union prevailed. However, unfortunately, we can't get up onto Little Round Top directly, not just for this little short, but for the whole thing, because it is closed. They are, like I said earlier, they are renovating it, and they were not able to open it for this anniversary. But I'll get to that later. There's two other places specifically on the field I'm going to look at today and mention. The wheat field, which is where the entire Union effort almost got decimated because one Union general was kind of an arrogant Burke. And then Culp's Hill, which was the other hill that saved the Union line on July 2nd. I'm on the top of Culp's Hill. Culp's Hill is at the north end of Gettysburg, and this is the hill I was talking about yesterday. Had Confederate forces taken this hill yesterday during the day before the Union could start building up and entrenching on it, the battle would never have happened here. That doesn't mean the Union would have lost. That doesn't mean Lee's Gettysburg campaign would have been successful. It doesn't mean that. It just means the fighting would have ended up somewhere else. But the Confederate forces that were on this end of the battle didn't take it until the Union was entrenched, and so last night they fought at night. It was fierce, but the Union held. They're going to fight again tonight, and the Union's going to hold. So you had a Little Round Top on the south end today. It's very famous, deservedly so. Then tonight, Culp's Hill, kind of the same thing happens. Lee could have taken this town had he gotten this hill yesterday, but he didn't. So the battle continues on, and that's going to eventually lead us, of course, into the great and awful Pickett's Charge tomorrow. But I will talk to y'all soon. I'm going to go walk around and get sweaty because it's only, like I said, mid-80s right now because of all the cloud cover. But the humidity really is murder. I mean, it's more humid right now than Florida is, and that's saying something. So catch y'all soon. Hey all, welcome back to Sarah Jane. It is it's evening time. Let's see what it's 8:13 p.m. here on July 2nd, 2023. It's been a very good day. Weather broke. We were supposed to have storms and everything all day. It has turned into a glorious day. Spent most of the day downtown, and remember in yesterday's video I said I wonder what the hell was going to happen today, because day one when I got here on the 30th I got lased in the face. Yesterday I had a cannon unexpectedly shot off 30 feet behind me and scared me out of about 10 years growth. Well, I found out what the hell was going to happen today, because what the hell was going to happen today happened. Only this was something really good. When Abraham Lincoln, President Lincoln, came to Gettysburg to give the Gettysburg Address, he stayed in the home of local attorney David Wills. Mr. Wills was a very prominent Gettysburg resident, Adams County resident, I should say. And Mr. Wills is the man who conceived of and spearheaded the movement that got the National Cemetery created. Edward Everett, of course, was invited to speak, and he gave a 2-hour oration. Contrary to legend, when Mr. Lincoln was invited, people didn't expect him to come, not because they thought he was a buffoon and a baboon or anything. It was because in those days, the president really never traveled very much. And there was a war on that Mr. Lincoln had to run. So it was a surprise when he came, but only because they didn't think he'd have the time. So he comes to Gettysburg on November 18th, 1863, stays in Mr. Wills' house, and on November 19th, 1863, the cemetery is dedicated and the Gettysburg Address is delivered. What does this have to do with having a good day? This is my 30th year coming to Gettysburg. I've been coming to Gettysburg for 30 years now. My first time was in 1993 when I was on spring break. I was a junior at Florida State and did a Civil War trek, and this was the last stop before turning around and heading back to Florida. So I've been coming to Gettysburg for 30 years. But I've never been inside the David Wills house. For 30 years, every time I came here, it was closed. Today, I got inside the David Wills house. Today, for me personally, I was able to finally complete the Gettysburg Address pilgrimage, if you will. All the major sites that Mr. Lincoln hit or was at for the Gettysburg Address, I've now actually not just been at, but been in. I've been in the room now where Mr. Lincoln slept and worked on finishing the speech. Again, legend says he wrote it on an envelope in the train, polished it here. Nope, he didn't. He wrote it in Washington. He polished it on the train with Secretary of State Seward and his secretaries, and then did his final notes here. But Mr. Lincoln was a very deliberate writer. Being in the room that he slept in and the room in which he finished his final notes, his final polishing, was really something. This trip for me is 10 years in the making. I was here for the 150th in 2013, and I promised myself I'd be back for the 160th, so here I am. But being able to finally step inside the David Wills house, I've been waiting to do that for 30 years. So that alone made today a spectacular success, even if nothing else did. But it's time. It's 8:17 p.m. now. Got to go upstairs, take a shower, get this put together so I can get it out to you guys, and then watch the next part of the movie Gettysburg before I fall asleep. I will see y'all tomorrow, and until we do meet again, as I always say, go do some great things. Good night.